our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. The Biden administration was terrible. Our progress today pales in comparison to the huge leaps of the 20th century. He's right, we went to the moon back then. Why are we not overflowing in energy? It's ridiculous. We also, apparently, may have life on other planets. What's happening? The White House had a speech. And in the speech, this line was delivered that's raising a lot of eyebrows out there, saying our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. Everybody went, what? I saw several screenshots of this over on X. People going, what are we doing? Are we beaming people to different planets? Is that where that airplane went when it was flying through the sky and then suddenly disappeared over Malaysia? What's going on over here exactly? Well, this speech came from this event called Remarks by Director Kratsios at the Endless Frontiers Retreat, talking about the golden age of American innovation. Now, the director came through and he says, I'm here. We got the American pioneer spirit. There's nothing predestined about technological progress and scientific discovery. And I think this is absolutely true, which is why we got to hold the line on all of the things that we treasure. And I'm not just talking about technological progress or scientific discovery. It's all the things that we value. Like the idea that liberty is going to get better over time, just naturally by entropy, because that's the natural order of things. Like we get more freedom or we get more science or we get more progress. Like this idea that progress is inevitable, I think is a dangerous fallacy. You got to work hard for it and protect it. So that's what he's saying. They require efforts and energies of men and women, the collective choice for order and truth over disorder and opinion. That's why we got to hold the line on the Constitution in these things, because they'll water it down. They'll actually retrograde us. Now, the last century was called the American century, despite wars and more. Trump has come in here. Ours was the atomic age, ours the victory in the space race, and ours the invention of the internet. Today, we fight to restore that inheritance. The Biden administration was terrible. Small yard, high fence approach. No one comes in, no one can get in. So now we're going to promote America. Now, a gap lies between our moment and the speed of transformation that America experienced before. Yes, large language models and AIs astonishing us and more. But as we look forward to this, our progress today pales in comparison to the huge leaps of the 20th century. He's right. We went to the moon back then. Now, as the nation approached its bicentennial, Americans looked forward to electricity too cheap to meter. By the end of 1972, 30 nuclear power plants were operational. 55 were under construction. 80 more were planned and ordered. That same year, Apollo 17, astronauts went up. 11th and 12th men to walk on the moon. 5 years before that, X-15 rocket plane set a speed record of 6.7 Mach. Today, however, energy prices still burden everybody. The grid is like falling apart. We have blackouts and brownouts all over the place. Over the past 30 years, only 3 commercial nuclear reactors have been built. 30 years, 3, and 10 have been closed. This is pathetic. It's pathetic. It makes me honestly sad as an American. Why are we not overflowing in energy? It's ridiculous. Despite spending almost twice as much as healthcare, we have the lowest life expectancy ever. Apollo 17 steps on the lunar surface would have been mankind's last. We're not even there. X-15's record still stands, and the Concorde was decommissioned. Advances have not stopped, but something has gone wrong. Okay, stagnation was a choice. We have weighed down our builders and our innovators. That's right, focused on DEI and garbage. The well-intentioned regulatory regime of the 1970s became an ever-tightening ratchet. We are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated. They cause things to grow. They improve productivity. And I think what he's referencing is, the internet. You don't have to be in the same place anymore. You can use computers to accelerate returns. Or maybe he means we can manipulate time and space with the quantum entanglement, which we'll talk about next. The Vice President Vance said in a recent speech, the tradition of American innovation has been one of increasing the capacities of American workers. But now we've got unrestricted immigration, reliance on cheap crap and labor, and have been substituting all of this for actual progress. And so we got to promote technological leadership. The speech continues, and he says, we have to rebuild our infrastructure, our supply chains, and we can't rely on Chinese-controlled critical infrastructure. The golden age of American innovation is on our horizon if we choose it, and there is no substitute for victory. So we need to re-innovate American industry, science, and technology from the White House. So a very good speech. I thought it was interesting. in the context of other conversations that we're having. This was this idea of quantum entanglement. And when you look into this, it reshapes everything. And a lot of people try to explain quantum physics and they have a hard time doing it. But what this shows us is this. Albert Einstein and Niels Bohr, two very smart dudes, they did this experiment, right? The idea is if you have in Einstein's thought experiment, a box that emits a photon, okay? This thing shoots this photon out. He noted that the experimenter's choice about what to measure will change. Then there's this concept called entanglement. And the entanglement theory is this idea that particles are connected even when they are very far apart. So the idea that entangled particles, for example, in some cases are perfectly correlated. Here's the idea. If a pair of entangled particles is spun a certain way and you shoot those out like 7 miles apart and you reverse one of them, the other reverses instantaneously and simultaneously with that. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, and it's verified. So some wild stuff is happening there, and people are trying to figure out what it ultimately means and how it works. But an interesting article here, you can get into the math of it, but interesting stuff is out there. So quantum physics. Now, in addition to all of that, we also apparently may have life on other planets. What's happening? You see here, in a potential landmark discovery, this one was posted just 19 hours ago, scientists using the James Webb Telescope have obtained what they call the strongest signs yet of possible life beyond our solar system. They detected gases on another planet that can only be produced by biological processes. They used this new telescope to see. The two gases are called dimethyl sulfide and dimethyl disulfide, DMS and DMDS, saying that they saw it on this planet named K2-18b. On Earth, they're generated by microbial life like marine phytoplankton and algae, which suggests that this planet is teeming with microbial life. They say, we're not announcing a discovery of living organisms. We don't know. We can just see the gases now, but they're excited. First hints of an alien world. There's a transformational moment here that we're looking into. K2-18b is 8.6 times the size of Earth, has a diameter 2.6 times as large as our planet. It's massive. It also orbits a habitable zone, a distance where liquid water, which is a key ingredient of life, can be found, around a red dwarf star smaller and less luminous than our sun, 124 light years away from us, aka 5.9 trillion miles times 124. It's far. Telling us about 5,800 planets beyond our solar system are called exoplanets. But earlier observations of this planet, which launched in 2021, have identified methane and carbon dioxide. The first time that carbon-based molecules were discovered in an atmosphere of an exoplanet, saying we need to continue to explore this, saying that there could be Hycean worlds, talking about giant oceans with microbial life. Said we won't be able to answer this question at this stage. Are there organisms? Are there multicellular organisms? Is there intelligent life? Can't answer that. But the baseline is simple microbial life is there. Saying DMS and DMDS, both from the same chemical family, have been predicted as important exoplanet biosignatures. Webb found that one or the other, or possibly both, were present in the atmosphere at a 99.7% confidence level. Wow. The gases were detected at atmospheric concentrations of more than 10 parts per million by volume. He says, for reference, this is thousands of times higher than their concentrations on Earth and cannot be explained without biological activity based on existing knowledge. The rich data from K2-18b makes it a tantalizing world. These latest data are valuable contributions to our understanding, yet we must be very careful to test the data as thoroughly as we can. It's like a sub-Neptune class of planets, and there was hints of DMS, but this is the holy grail of exoplanet science. He said, be cautious. We need to repeat these observations 2 to 3 times to make sure we're getting the right signal here, but could be a big if, so pretty wild stuff. All right, so aliens, life on other planet, little plankton, we'll have to see.